G4S, the multinational security corporation, has faced severe allegations of mistreatment and torture concerning its operations at the Mangaung Correctional Center in Bloemfontein. These allegations, put forth by the 42 inmates, encompass a range of egregious human rights violations, painting a distressing picture of the company's conduct within the correctional facility. According to a news article from Sowetan Live, G4S was subpoenaed to appear before the Justice and Correctional Services Portfolio Committee to account for the escape of a prisoner from Mangaung prison on May 3, 2022. During the hearing, G4S was accused of removing itself from the accountability over the escape and the Mangaung Correctional Center's inability to conduct criminal or forensic investigations. In 2016, the boss of a center for young inmates run by G4S stepped down after allegations of abuse and mistreatment at the Medway Secure Training Center in Rochester, Kent, 23. In 2013, G4S received reports of alleged mistreatment of prisoners at Mangaung Correctional Center and proposed that a retired judge carry out an independent investigations into the allegations.
Services Minister Ronald Lamola is cutting ties with G4S security. It comes after Thabo Bester's escaped saga.
Now, G4S has issued a statement today saying it will no longer be investing in correctional services in South Africa. The announcement comes just a day after the Department of Correctional Services itself issued a notice to terminate its contract with G4S at the Mangaung Correctional Center. This follows the escape of convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester from Mangaung Correctional Center in May 2022.
G4S is an acronym derived from the original name Group 4 Securicor and stands as a global giant in the security services industry. G4S is a British multinational security services company founded in 1901 and headquartered in Crawley, UK. The company operates in 29 countries in Africa and employs over 119,000 people in the continent alone, and is the largest security company in Africa and the largest private employer in Africa and the largest second private sector employer in the world. G4S provides a range of security services such as manned security, cash solutions, electronic security, and risk management. In 2020, G4S generated a revenue of £7.8 billion, and the company's revenue is distributed across different regions, with the Americas generating the highest revenue of £2.6 billion and followed by Europe and Middle East with £2.35 billion. In the intricate tapestry of multinational corporations, G4S emerges as a prominent player in the realm of security services, boasting a global footprint and a portfolio that spans various sectors. However, beneath the veneer of its corporate image lies a disconcerting narrative, a tale of alleged human rights violations, torture, a breach of ethical standards. This video aims to undertake a thorough and critical analysis of the dark side of G4S, focusing on the reported incidents of human rights abuses, particularly within the Mangaung Correctional Center in Bloemfontein. At the heart of the allegations against G4S is the Mangaung Correctional Center, a facility where 42 inmates have come forward with claims of shocking mistreatment. These allegations paint a disturbing picture of electric shocks, forcible injections with antipsychotic drugs, and prolonged period of isolation. Such allegations raise fundamental questions about the ethical framework that underpins G4S operations, and they demand a meticulous examination. Inmates say that they were given electric shocks and forcibly injected at the multinational security company's Mangaung Correctional Center, Rice Wood Hopkins. The multinational security company G4S, a main contender for the South African Social Security Agency tender to distribute social grants, is in court over the torture allegations. The company is defending claims by 42 inmates that they were subjected to electric shocks, forcibly injected with antipsychotic drugs, and placed in lengthy isolations in the G4S Mangaung Correctional Center in Bloemfontein. Antipsychotic drugs are a type of psychiatric medication which are available on prescription to treat psychosis. They are licensed to treat certain types of mental health problems whose symptoms include psychotic experiences. This includes schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, some forms of bipolar disorder, severe depression, the psychotic symptoms of a personality disorder. Central to the discourse on human rights is the unbreakable principle of human dignity. The reported instances of electric shocks and forced administration of antipsychotic drugs constitute a blatant disregard for the intrinsic worth and rights of individuals within the correctional system. These practices, if substantiated, not only infringed upon the human rights to be free from torture, but also challenged the very essence of a humane penal system. The company's UK prison operations have also been plagued by allegations of physical and other abuse of inmates at the Brook House and Medway detention centers. The imposition of lengthy isolation on inmates adds another layer of concern to the allegations against G4S. Drawing insights from the field of psychology, the harmful effects of solitary confinement on mental health are well documented. Prolonged isolation can lead to severe psychological distress, exacerbating pre-existing mental health conditions and sometimes precipitating new disorders. The duty of a correctional facility extends beyond the physical security to encompass the mental well-being of those under its care, and any failure in this regard constitute a grave ethical lapse. Inmate James Muture is a complainant in the damages case. The Vets Justice Project spoke to him in 2012 and 2013. The emergency security team guys held me down and the nurse came and injected me in the bum, he said, saliva dripping down his chin. He said that the weekly forced injections started in 2004. No one told him what was being injected into his veins. Every week, the emergency security team, armed officers, appeared in his unit and took him to the hospital. There he protested loudly and sometimes physically. The officers held him down and nurses administered the injection. The side effects became really bad. I started getting fits and couldn't move my body anymore. My left hand stopped working. The entire left side of my body became weak, he said. In 2007, Mutule's side effects became unmanageable and injections stopped. His symptoms, which he had been told necessitated the injections, went untreated from then. In response to these allegations, G4S has staunchly defended itself against the accusations. The company argues that its operations adhere to international human rights standards and it remains committed to the welfare of those in its custody. However, such assertions prompt a deeper inquiry into the mechanisms of accountability within the private sector. The Legal Resources Center is representing 11 other inmates who say they were forcibly injected with antipsychotics. Nurses and administrative assistants who worked at the prison hospital, subcontracted to Faranani Healthcare, confirmed to the Vets Justice Project that they were regularly instructed to inject inmates without a history of mental illness and against their will with medications such as Risperdal, Itomin, and Lopixel Depot. Leaked video footage shot by the emergency security team inside the prison shows inmate Becky Dlamini, who has no history of mental illness, being injected against his will. He shouts, "No, I'm not a donkey," before four men grab him. Guards employed by the G4S are also accused of assaulting inmates and subjecting them to electric shocks. Inmate Isaac Nelani was allegedly tortured to death in the prison's isolation unit. A pathologist ruled the death suspicious because there was bruising on Nelani's heart. The South African government signed a 10.6 billion contract with G4S and 4 other shareholders in 2000 to build, maintain, and run the maximum security prison with the capacity for 3,000 prisoners. G4S, All Mutual, Figile Mangaung, 10 Alliance Mangaung, and the Ekwezi Community Trust together form Bloemfontein Correctional Contracts, the legal entity that is party to the prison contract. The 32 inmates represented by the Legal Resources Center are seeking damages for the alleged abuse at the prison. In a related case, the Center for Applied Legal Studies at Wits University is challenging G4S over its attempt to prevent publication of a Department of Correctional Services report on the allegations. The case emanates from a request under the Promotion of Access to Information Act for the investigation report into the alleged abuse at the Bloemfontein prison. G4S lost effective control of the prison in 2013 when riots broke out. The department took control of the prison for 10 months and promised to report on the allegations of abuse. At about the same time, the Vets Justice Project uncovered use of electric shocks, forced medication with antipsychotic drugs, unlawful segregation of inmates, and suspicious deaths in prison. Though the government said it would investigate the allegations, the promised investigation report did not materialize and the security provider has not been held accountable and continues to manage the prison. The section of the report that deals with the alleged forced administration of medication contains further evidence of possible misconduct. Regarding inmate Willem Vis, they write, there is no corresponding prescription from a medical practitioner or psychiatrist indicating any medication should be administered by force. A doctor may forcibly medicate a person only if the head of the healthcare institution has given permission, the spouse or guardian of the patient has been informed, and 2 physicians have assessed the case. The evidence of torture and serious malpractice raises the question why the department has not taken any action against the company and is seemingly covering up for the company and its shareholders. Maestri initially denied but later admitted that there was a court case around relating to the torture allegations against the department. He failed to answer 8 questions sent to him by the Vets Justice Project on whether the department has CS is in possession of medical files of the Mangaung prison inmates, how many fines the department has imposed on G4S, if whether G4S has violated the contract, DCS department is covering up torture, and why the investigation report hasn't been published. The dark side of G4S, as illuminated by the allegations surrounding the Mangaung Correctional Center, underscores the pressing need for a nuanced and comprehensive evaluation of the role of private security corporations in upholding human rights. The reported violations, electric shocks, forced drug injections, and prolonged isolation challenged not only ethical integrity of G4S but also raised broader questions about the accountability mechanisms that should govern the operations of such entities. As we grapple with the complexities of balancing security imperatives with human rights considerations, the case of G4S serves as a poignant reminder of the perpetual tension inherent in this delicate equilibrium.